But see, if you should stream with it and like black out your camera or something like that. Like keep yourself shrouded in mystery.
That's true. I have to, role play like a monk in the mountains. It's like, have you seen my son Junior play in the console league?
Like you built your own Ethernet out there so you could play Smite from the ground up or something like that. Either way, we're moving into game 3 here. Let's get those picks and bans up on the screen. Can Noxious take this set away from RivaL, or will they remain the top card here in Europe? This is just set 1. Totally. Yeah. We just started. It feels like I've been here for years watching this set. I mean, it's such a strong set from these two teams. Noxious have really made them go the distance.
And there's still 3 more sets to go. 1 more on Xbox, 2 more on PlayStation. So going to be exciting to see how some of these teams pan out.
And I'm excited for those PlayStation boys as well. They looked great in their qualifiers, but of course, we'll get to them once we get to them. Noxious not changing their tune in the bans, though. Naja and Ratatosk banned away again, but RivaL are second pick, so they kind of have to ban away the Baron and the Freya, I thought, but no. They're worried about this Baka.
Bakasura. So Mango not going to have that. They really understand that this is a comfort. This must be a comfort pick for Mango. Yet again, they're leaving Freya open as they take the Zhong away. I see you're losing your mind, Finch.
I can't believe it. Zhong's great. He's very good. Chernobog Freya, please.
If that's the case, then that would be really solid. That's a great late game range damage that you really need. But yet again, you made the distinction in game 1 where you can have double Hunter, but you don't have the range the way a Ra or a Thoth or any other like traditional mage in the mid lane would have. And Freya doesn't have that range either. So if you don't get off to the same great start in the early game that the way Fly did, you could be panicking during some of these defensive sieges, but the burst damage from Freya cannot be denied.
No, absolutely not. Not after the performance Fly just had in game 2. And at this point, I have to believe Noxious just feel like they've got an answer to this Freya. There's 0% chance that a team of this caliber has overlooked Freya twice in a row. There's no way that that's what's happening. So they want this Zhong. They're valuing it over the Freya. They're going to play around this, very likely over there in the solo lane for Gnome. And they're going to try and have a strong game there because Fly, especially if that's going to be the jungle Daji he's paired with, could be causing some trouble.
Fly did a great job game 2. I'm sure he'll have a fantastic game 3, but the Daji selection for Rapio now, a little bit of a different idea than the Mercury, trying to just get off all this damage over time instead of this initial burst damage. Right. I think Daji is great at all stages of the game and can catch certain people off guard, especially Zhong. If you can get him out of the team fight, one way or another to mitigate some of his ghosts and damage over time, your team should just thrive off of that one engagement.
And I really like this Kumbhakarna ban that's come out here from Noxious as well, because Daji really thrives when you have your beads burned already, right? She can really get you to pull in with the pal out. She doesn't mind burning them herself, but someone like Kumbhakarna who can force them off relatively easy, you just don't want that paired with that Daji. Instead, it'll be the Cerberus, and I like what Noxious were thinking.
Raijin immediately after the secondary ban phase. Noxious gonna have a lot of burst damage for themselves. You gotta fight fire with fire. I mean, and look at that cute little logo from Noxious. That's one frisky fireball.
It is. You don't want to mess with it. Nope. Especially not when it's gonna be a Thor Raijin. That's a strong combo. You already were saying that the Raijin's gonna have plenty of damage, but with that dunk coming in from the Thor, even the wall can be plenty of setup for like a Raiju, a Thunder Crash combination, so plenty of damage could come out there as Hercules comes out. That is often bad news for whoever's on the other side of Predator's solo.
Oh, yeah. Predator's known for his Hercules play. Sometimes overly aggressive where he's invading enemies speed buff. Like 1v2, no care in the world. But I got to go back a little bit on this Raijin pick because the way you counter a Freya is by keeping your distance, but Raijin can do both. Keep his distance and still deal damage at the same time. The Raiju Percussive Storm combination goes through minions. Freya's Pulse Irradiate combination gets absorbed by them.
And especially early on, especially level 2, 3, right around that range where I feel like Raijin's going to have a much stronger presence here than this Freya is. It's going to be tough to try and lane up against this Raijin early on, so we'll see if Fly can get it done up against the illustrious Dave Jr., who learned clearly from the best, his senior. We'll see if he can get it done here in this game.
You know what it is? Dave Sr. is teaching him the elements of the world. Going for the fire to start things off, now switching it to the lightning.
I actually love this. That's the best thing ever. All right, Dave Jr., we'll see if he can get it done in the middle lane for his team as Predators is back on this Hercules.
Do you think he'll play Hobwa next week?
I would love that. Some water to come in next.
Or Poseidon.
We got to get all the elements. Is there anywhere he can get like a sort of grassy, earthy feel out there in any kind of way?
I mean, he could play like, oh, the invade Predators. Hello?
We said he was a ludicrous man, that he plays ludicrously aggressive. This is what we're talking about.
You can't let him back.
Not going to let him back here for free. In fact, Dave Jr. could rotate over and punish, but the teleport's going to come out. Full man mode. They interrupt him, so he's not going to be able to get the teleport off. Driving strike to reposition, but one auto is enough. Dave Jr. finds first blood.
I mean, how good is an invade that just leads to a first blood? I'll trade my first rotation of a red buff for a first blood. Why not now? Dave Jr., the lightning god, Raijin, gonna have that slight edge over Fly. And honestly, that was just a pure lazy back from Predators. If he really wanted to, he could have just immediately used that teleport.
Yeah, absolutely, that should have been the idea from him. But it was a great recognition from Zhen that he was backing and not teleporting, right? Because Zhen turns back around and goes, wait, I'm not just letting you back for free here. There's no way. He comes in and gets the auto and punishes him. Now Mango in a little bit of trouble here in the mid lane. Rapio and Fly do a great job out clearing and find the kill to answer back.
Threading the needle was Fly with that one shot. Not going to be able to dive that tier 1 tower. Dave Jr. just narrowly hitting level 3 to give himself that Thunder Crash to disengage.
And we didn't even talk about it, but Predators went with this Boots Rush kind of start that we've seen. It's not entirely unheard of, but that means that, you know, he's not going to have that extra Warrior's Blessing trying to help him out or any kind of stacking like that. He's coming in at a slight disadvantage anyway. I think he really wanted the extra farm and that red buff in lane. I don't know if this is going to work nearly as well without that.
Definitely not, but even without the red buff, I think that just getting this physical power rush allows him to be a big bully, even more so than a lot of Hercules are originally. Because with some of the nerfs that we did previously to Warrior's Blessing anyway, where you're receiving less sustain per hit, it's about 30 now instead of 40, and also you're getting less health as a result, it's not a bad idea to just go for straight damage, especially when Driving Strike, I believe, is 100% scaling.
Coast gets some good poke on the Hydro over here in the duo lane. This time it's him on the Chernobog as opposed to Hydro, who's been playing it relatively well here so far today. Coast going to get a chance to try and return that favor and make some big rotations of his own, but early on here, things are 1-1 so far. Even though First Blood went the way of Noxious, RivaL answered back quickly in the middle lane. Can they keep that going as Predators is still being a madman?
Wow. Luckily for Predators, Gnome is only level 4. It does a little bit of damage, but at the end of the day, huge win, considering Zhong desperately needs that blue buff to continue to spam some of his abilities.
I mean, at this point, it's just nuts, right? How willing Predators is to walk into bad situations and then just walk right back out again. This is why I love him on this Predators on this Hercules, though. You kind of want your solo laner to be a little disrespectful, don't you? You want him to be not like as in I don't think that they're capable, but just playing like you can't be beat, right? And I think that's how Predators is playing on this Hercules, and it's what the RivaL guys love from him the most.
Well, Predators wants to get hit in order to get more physical power to synergize with that Hercules passive. And if he can get hit a little bit more and then wait till the last second, that Driving Strike just deals extra damage. And just to be able to secure that blue buff, very well timed level 4 invade.
Now, because he didn't have the teleport available, he couldn't back right when he had the gold there for the boots, but he should be able to around the 20-minute mark, I imagine. He'll come back in with that power spike and continue to play aggressive here up against Gnome in the solo lane, who's, for what it's worth, handled this interesting start from Predators about as well as you can expect from a Zhong. Still looking comfortable. In fact, he was trying to take his back, but Predator's not going to let him have it for free.
That's the solo lane to, like, just bully mentality. It's like, you're not going to back for free in front of, like, you're going to disrespect me like that? Like, nah, definitely not. But going for the Shusa focus immediately was Gnome instead of trying to finish off potentially Dynasty Plate Helmet. Could even be Celestial the same way he did in game number 1. But I think that in this particular game, this is a better idea, trying to match the mobility that Predators is going to have with Warrior Tabi and getting extra cooldown reduction to get some more heals and keep yourself topped off in that solo lane.
I think that's exactly what it's about. It's just getting that extra movement speed to match what Predators is certainly going to be getting, as he also grabbed a buckler. I believe we found out that's a small shield. Right, at one point is what that is for you.
Yeah, that transitions into Ankyle or Runic Shield. Runic Shield is a great pickup up against Gnome, mitigating a lot of that magical power, giving yourself that magical defense on top of it, which is also going to stop Dave Jr. from banging on those drums as hard as he could.
Yeah, that's actually very strong up against Raijin, who can, you know, channel his abilities very often. Dave Jr. dangling. He's able to just barely get out of there.
That was one hit. About 40 to 45% of little old Junior's health bar.
It ain't fun, is it? playing against the Freya. I said maybe those first few levels could be a problem, but at this point, Fly's got to be feeling comfortable.
If that was Dave Sr. getting hit, my man would only take about 20% of his health.
Yeah, if you can land the banish on him in the first place. That's Dave Sr. we're talking about.
That's true.
So.
He's got an unfair passive where he just evades abilities at 50% chance.
That's right. You got to hit him with everything twice. The first time he just kind of sidesteps it. He's turning into like a Chuck Norris-esque figure at this point, isn't he, Dave Sr.? He's certainly a mysterious man.
A folktale. A lot of stories out there about him, but who knows how many of them are actually true.
Very few. He doesn't, you know, if you meet him, you don't get to go home and write stories about it, you know? You don't get to live through that.
Yeah, I don't think he'll let you write stories about him.
So.
Would you want to? I mean, like, he's going to come out after you.
I would put my name on it for sure. For sure not. Pyro, or not Pyro rather, but the Oracle's going to be going the way here of Noxious on the left-hand side, grabbing themselves a little bit of extra vision. Not too important here in the early game, since likely no gold fear is going to be stolen away, but definitely in case there's rotations through that pit, and just some extra farm as well. As Predators again is in the enemy jungle, doing a ton of damage on the Mango, and the Valkyrie discretion immediately to follow up, but a good juke keeps him alive.
Oh my goodness, not able to survive that one. Gnome is going to get pulled eventually. He has the beats if he wants to use it, but no, saving it to the very last second. Hydro using his ultimate, Living Nightmare to get into it. Mush is here with the Earth and Fury, but no one else beside him.
This is Brave coming in on the backside of this fight to drop down the ultimate, but catches him perfectly with the 2, but it's not going to be enough. Gnome comes in with the stun to create just enough space, and Fly cannot find the follow-up kill. Terra just barely makes it out.
DineOhSaw was actually getting, not chunked, but he was getting thwarted by Dave Jr. with the taiko drums, taunting and pushing him away a little bit, not able to get into the action, but they didn't really even need DineOhSaw. He used that Living Nightmare more to slow the opposition than to actually use it to teleport to the mid lane, and RivaL very successful in that last one, only finding the one pick, but it was an important pick. It was onto Mango, and I think in Season 5, even still to this day, since the beginning of Season 5, now that we're at the fall split, it's always going to be a jungler's game. And the fact that Rapio now has this 1-level lead, getting closer to Yoden's Wrath, should have that power spike play once he hits level 9.
It's an opportunity he should have ahead of Mango, and I'd like to see him use it, especially if he can be around Predators, who's really opened up a lot of space on this solo side of the map over here where on the Fire Giant side. So there's definitely opportunity where he can even try and punish Gnome, who doesn't have beads for another 80 seconds. He could get pulled back in. I definitely like what we've seen from Rapio here so far in this third game, the one that's going to decide our winner of the whole thing.
Surprised to see Predators go for, hold that thought, Mango, trying to do a little bit of damage, but Fly going to return the favor onto Mango. And I was talking about Predators' build. He went for the Oncule, surprisingly, instead of the Runic Shield. Wants to slow down that combination from Gnome, even maybe slow down some of the follow-up damage from Dave Jr. once he gets in the thick of things.
Predators is able to get the driving strike and pin Jin up against the wall. Mango takes quite a bit of poke as well. Powwow up into the air. It's the Brawler's Beat Stick instead that he's going to be using here in the fight, but Mango found Fly. That makes it 1-for-1 as Rapio gets Jin on the back end. Stygian Torment controls 2, and that sets up 2 kills as DineOhSaw finds 1 as well. Gnome ends up getting sent back to base. 3-for-1 at the end of the day. DineOhSaw didn't even use Living Nightmare to make his way into the team fight, but will do so to get a little bit closer to Hydro. Not sure. Okay, he does have the Raijin Jaguar available. Mango around the side with the wall just for good measure, but RivaL, after a 3-for-1, even strip away the red buff. Now settle for a buff invade after a nice play inside the jungle. Predators once again has really been the facilitator, I feel like, for all this. A great job getting everything started off. Well, of course, Rapio's been right there playing with him, but I feel like it's this just untempered aggression from Predators that's really done a lot of work for them.
And look, he's about to heal up maybe another 15 to 20% of his health, and he's just going to be A-okay. He's going to have enough mana now for Driving Strike from invading that blue buff. It's calculated aggression,
right.
And despite it being a 3-for-1 in that last team fight, Mango had to back, so he was losing farm. So that's a technical kill, and also Hydro had to back, so that was another technical kill. So, you know, when you force the last 2 remaining members to back, it's technically a deicide to allow yourself to look for more invades. After the red buff, It was just Predators min-maxing and securing his own blue.
And we saw the actual, ramifications of that. RivaL were able to come over and grab the red buff on the back end, right? Because not only had Noxious lost 3 people, but the other 2 couldn't really be in position for any kind of jungle defense either. Hydro had to run for the hills, and Mango was just getting back to that tier 2 towards the tail end of it. So you're exactly right. Even if you can't get the kill, you gotta capitalize on the back end.
And as we approach the 11-minute mark, neither team confident enough to go for the Gold Fury quite yet. But a 2-level lead for Vapourish Coast, a 2-level lead for Rapio. I wouldn't be surprised if RivaL continue to force the issue.
A nice paralyzing spit coming out from DineOhSaw. RivaL goes up into the air, or rather Fly does, but can't get into range. Mango comes crashing in with his own ultimate, is forced to use the beats and to retreat after the Stygian Torment controls him. So a couple ultimates expended, but not much gained.
No beads now for Mango, allows Rapio to look for the Pal out. He will catch Mush. The Oculate will silence out Mush for the moment. Here comes Vapourish Coast. Doesn't connect the root. Excavate from a distance, but Mush sees it coming, knows that he can back safely.
Had to gamble on a direction. Thought he might try and head back towards the tier 2, but unfortunately he was not. But now he's delivering a Dave Jr. right back to the squad. The damage comes in over the top, and Predators puts him down, and they're going to head right towards this Gold Fury for the 5v4.
Junior down for 20 seconds, needs to make a phone call to his senior to ask for some help now, because that's a second death already, and RivaL trying to go for the first Gold Fury of the game.
Gnome is nearby to try and defend him for it, but he can't make it past the wall. That is Predators. In fact, Rapio doing more than zoning, outright kills Hydro. Gold Fury going over to RivaL. And Toli, this is the dominance that I've gotten used to seeing from this squad. Looking good here in Game 3.
It's all about the experience difference. Gold is pretty dominant as well, I would say, but at 12 minutes in, when you're 7,000 experience, this 3-level lead between the 2 hunters, which are both late-game hunters between both Xbalanque and the Chernobog, really flexing on them as RivaL.
Brawler's Beat Stick, Warrior Tabi into the Crusher has been the call from Rapio. We don't see a ton of Dodgy anymore here, Toli, but I feel like he's played it very, very well, using the Pal out at the key moments in the fight for pulls, for beads, burns, whatever he needs, the damage to chase out those squishy targets as well. Rapio's looked great. And
I thought it was going to be a Yoden's Wrath instead of the Brawler's Beat Stick just to get more Pal-Outs off, but mitigating some of the healing potentially onto Gnome or potentially from the support Mush. Man, just all that burst damage between this double mace. I don't think Rapio is done.
No, not at all. Immediately goes up for the pull and the Pal out, forces the Taiko drums. Quick response there from Dave Jr. He has to be careful. Not able to land any really of his follow-up damage, but does barely survive. And Rapio, what a great play for him. I like he just kind of walked up to that kill in middle lane.
It just looks so smooth while he's playing when we look at him in first-person point of view, the way he's able to just get in and out of the action, forces the Pal-Out cancel instantly, and then on top of that, just backpedals away from the third hit out of Junior's Percussive Storm.
Dave is going to have to run back towards the Tier 1 tower. Valkyrie's Discretion, again, just barely out of range, but he's going to have to back again as now Predators continues to bully Gnome.
No, we knew thee well. Oh, no, Predator's not feeling brave enough to go back in. No, Psych, Major Look, Excavate off the mark, though.
That means that not only is Gnome going to survive, but he's going to have his ultimate ticking to bring Predators down. Reform Mango gets the kill, but Coast rotates in, flies on the backside as well. They're going to look for a couple kills here in return. Mush has no chance of surviving. Double kill for Coast, and Mango must be joking about going back.
There's no way. No one is even low enough to find the kill. Like, maybe if your Anvil of Dawn will be lethal, and then you could just hammer away instantly, then sure, go for it. But once Mango would land, he would definitely be the next victim.
Well, it looks like the Tier 1 tower in left is getting somewhat threatened, but nothing compared to what's happening to this Fire Giant. 14.5 minutes into this game, RivaL up 10-3 in the kill department. Grab a Pyromancer while you're at it, and they don't have to worry about their Tier 1 and left. That barely got threatened at all. 11,000 experience, 7,600 gold. RivaL starting to run away with it.
A lot of anti-healing now that I think about it from RivaL.
It is a lot.
Also, Cerberus with the passive, and then you got the Pestilence that DineOhSaw built onto this god. Really covering their options, want to shut down any sort of potential that Gnome will have about persevering himself throughout team fights.
They are trying to limit it, and as you're right, it is kind of a lot for them to not be a dedicated healer, but not letting Gnome get sustained back up. The lifesteal from Hydro can somewhat be relevant. You can slow that down as well, so, or even some of the healing that comes out from Terra, I imagine, off the ultimate probably is something they want to try and limit as well. So Team RivaL itemizing into it early and already shutting down Noxious.
It's going to be a tall task for Noxious to climb back into this game, a very tall mountain. They might find Senior up there when they get it there.
I agree that they'll climb the mountain, but they're not finding Senior totally. I'm sorry. I mean, that guy is a master of stealth, a master of disguise. There's just no chance that they'll
What if he's hiding as the mountain?
I could believe that. I could believe it, yeah. Or like inside of it, like he's sort of hollowed it out and he lives in the mountain instead of on it. Rapio, ready to be on top of Hydro, it would appear. He does land one chain. It's going to be on the mush. He drops the Terra's Blessing before he does end up falling and gets pulled back in, but Tier 2 tower is already fallen.
Defensive ultimate from Hydro, but here comes the blink from DineOhSaw with the Stygian Torment. Throws Gnome back into the fray. No more Zhong for Noxious, and RivaL are continuing the action in a 5-on-4. A double whoop from Fly, but a great stun from Mango.
Has to use the Aegis to try and stay alive. Valkyrie's discretion gets him away from the Tycho drums as Dave Jr. has to use the Aegis, but no Aegis available for Mush, who is going to fall. Now Mango in some trouble as up into the air goes Coast, and he wants to come roaring right back down towards the jungler on the side of Noxious. Mango actually finds the return kill, but Coast has the shots. Now only Hydro and Dave Jr. still standing. 4 members strong. RivaL won a Phoenix.
Oh, Vapor's Coast is too low to get into it. DineOhSaw getting blocked by some of the minions. The Phoenix will seal his fate, and without any minions out of RivaL to absorb these Phoenix shots, they just have to walk away with a tail right between their legs.
This is actually a good defense from Noxious, that they don't give up any Phoenixes. I think it is 60% RivaL being a little overzealous there and not cleanly going for the Phoenix, but a strong defense from Noxious, particularly Mango surviving to keep that structure standing.
Uh-oh, 1v1 boxing match. Hydro winning it for the moment, but Fly catching out Dave Jr. and now goes for the whoop, saving out his Hunter. Porsche Coast gets credit with that kill with a ton afterwards. He's probably saying to himself, get soloed, idiot.
That is almost certainly what he is saying at this point. I mean, y'all have seen Coast here at Lance now 3 times in a row, I believe, so you certainly know that he's a confident young lad, and he's letting him hear it here in-game. Gold Fury will be their consolation prize since they could not get the Phoenix, as they'll fall back and spend their gold.
I mean, Finch, look at the comparison between these two Hunters.
Wow.
5-level difference, and there's only 30 stacks for Hydro. He hasn't even had time to finish stacking. Maybe that's why he goes for the Bloodforge instead in that last game, where he just really knew he didn't have time to do so. So it would have been probably a better choice this game, and a good, well-calculated 1v1 from Vapor's Coast. Whether or not he would win that boxing match, he knew he had too much of a lead.
Poor Gnome has been caught out here in the middle lane. He certainly will end up falling. Surrender Vote coming out as well. There's a little bit of frustration now coming out here from Noxious, but I would like to take this time to pen a formal apology to Vapor's Coast for implying that he might not show up in the last set. I don't know what I was thinking. Clearly, my man is 6-0-2 in level 18, ready to rock on the Chernobog. Yeah, we'll just pretend I didn't say it. Delete the VOD. You know?
He's a pretty good player.
He's very good.
He's a pretty good player, for sure, especially during that spring split. Just dominating almost anybody in his way. Mango goes in the thick of things. Fly up in the sky. Gets the first kill. It's Vaporsh.
Porsche Coast does find the return. A great bandage comes out from Fly as well, right into the paralyzing Spidge in a whole heap of trouble, and Rapio has the damage required. A great driving strike pins down Dave Jr. and removed Predators gets that kill as well. 3 quick steals for Team RivaL. They want the mid lane Phoenix.
And the whole advantage was the fact that Hydro was too busy split pushing on the left-hand side. He needs the experience, he needs the stacks, but no, he needs to get out of this situation.
Is able to barely avoid the boulder, but can't avoid Rapio. That's going to be the 4th kill of this engagement now for RivaL. Hydra is the only one still standing, just one level 14 lad to try and defend up against Team RivaL, but they're going to fall back for now. Fire Giant should be back up here in any second. Pyromancer will be right there with it. They can spin their gold, grab the buff, and come back and grab those last Phoenixes.
And the respawn timers are just too short for RivaL to do anything with. Noxious gets back alive so they can defend their Titan room, they can defend the left side Phoenix if they really want. And I think that RivaL will need to at least strip away another tower before going for the final conclusion.
That's going to be their plan here, as they grab the Pyromancer as well, but totally, I mean, this RivaL team has bounced back so well after that Game 1 loss. It was tough. Noxious looked like they had all the answers. I'm thinking maybe Freya is a big part of it, but they've also just been playing well as a unit. I mean, Rapio in Game 2 had some great setup for them. He's doing the same thing here in Game 3. Predators is an unkillable monster on this Hercules who will not be deterred. They just look like themselves.
And despite that first blood that Predators gave up, if you strip away that silly death, that could have easily been avoided with a teleport use instead of the lazy bagging. He's sitting at 3-1 and 11 and made a great transition after that initial strategy.
Doesn't that feel like years away, right? Where Predators is foolishly dying by the red buff there, and you almost forget it now when you see him 3-2 and 11, 3-1 and 11 otherwise, as you pointed out, and really they just don't have an answer to this Hercules yet. 3 levels up on Gnome on the Zhong, and it's about the same across the board, if not worse for everyone else. This experience lead's been the real problem.
It's hard to really shut down a Hercules. You need more than just 2 members sometimes. Mango survives for the moment, needs to disengage. With a Fire Giant for RivaL, it's going to be their second one of the game, but not the enhanced version. That one needs to respawn after 25 minutes has just kind of gone by in the game, and this best of 3 is looking like it's going to be Rivals.
Rivals certainly have all the advantages in their favor, but Noxious have looked strong in this set. They've got to hold on a little while longer, but DineOhSaw going to make that hard with a 2-man Stygian Torment, pulls them right back into the damage, but a good job from Reformed Mango trying to split the rest of the fight. In fact, it's Vaporous Coast who falls first, but Predators on the backside drops the boulder. That finds Mango, Fly finds Dave Jr. from up in the sky, and Gnome getting chased out as well.
2 for 1. They lose Vaporous Coast. Fly needs to hit one more shot, gets the whoop off in the backside. Rapio takes out Hydro, and with only Gnome left standing, doesn't have his ultimate to keep that Titan alive against all of these fire minions.
They're pouring down middle lane. There's about to be minions pouring down through dual lane as well. It's just Gnome, no ultimate available to him. Surrender vote is coming through, but it might be little bit too late. Rapio is going to be on the Zhong. The rest of the team is going to be on the Titan. They let him back into the fountain, but Team RivaL should be able to grab Game 3, grab the set, and maintain their place at the top of EU console.
A true dominating performance. It takes a lot to be able to lose the first game of any best of 3 set and just come back with a furious fire. Closing out game number 3 in less than 23 minutes of play, 24 kills, only giving up 6 deaths.
An excellent performance here from Team RivaL, and this is the team that we've sort of come to know from them. Again, some of it I'm kind of attributing to the picks and bans. I think Noxious made some errors there. The Baron Somdi being allowed through along with the Freya in game 2, the Freya here in game 3, even through their own first pick phase. They could have certainly grabbed it for themselves. I mean, it's a lot that they've allowed to be taken by this RivaL team, but they also executed with it very well.
I agree. I think RivaL are thinking their lucky stars that they won picks and bans the way that they did. They wanted a very specific composition. They got it. They were able even to deny Mango that Bakasor in games 2 and 3. Didn't want any part of it after losing to it in game number 1, and they made the adaptations required.
That's right, and we talked about it in game 1, right, where they go with the triple Guardian double Hunter composition, right? So we might even be able to chalk it up a little bit to them, kind of just testing that strategy out, right? Seeing how well it would work. They weren't quite able to get off the ground with that strategy, so they go away from that with the Baron in the solo lane, the Hercules over there in the solo lane, the Freya out of mid, and I feel like it works better for them after that.
I think normally when you want to like flex a strategy or a specific composition, you want to do it when you already have a 1-game lead.
Sure.
But knowing RivaL, they're just so comfortable in their own skin that, yeah, sure, why not do it in the very first one?
And I'm sure they had full confidence in the strategy as well, but you know, once their backs are kind of against the wall, they went back to what's been working for them. Things like Predators being, you know, at the enemy red buff at the very beginning of the game. And that's one, we didn't talk much about, but we've seen more of that from solo laners. Not necessarily red buff, but they'll sometimes start in duo lane or that sort of thing and then teleport back in as well. So I like that sort of adjustment we see from these solo laners.
Normally, sometimes solo laners will invade speed buffs if you think you can get the last hit, but then you have to worry about 2 individual members. And the fact that we even saw Mush hiding around that corner of the red buff means that he knew what Predators was up to from the very get-go, and there's a lot of mind games between these 2 European teams. They're scrim partners as well. They just have a lot of knowledge on the other, and I think this is going to be exciting to see it the next time we see them in a rematch.
I'm excited to see it, and I'm excited to see RivaL continuing to look this strong, but even more excited to see that this Noxious squad, formerly Revenge, as you said, I feel like they're looking even better. They were that close. So if you're the rest of Europe here on the console or Xbox console, you got to be worried about this Noxious squad as well. They looked really strong.
I think they were like undefeated. RivaL was undefeated in the online summer split, if I'm not mistaken, and the fact that already dropped 1 game, a little bit of hope to the rest of the European boys.
If you're as good as Noxious. Yeah, it gives you a little bit of hope, right? But
a little bit.
Certainly it feels like that whole region sort of growing, because for a long time in Season 4, I mean, Europe wasn't able to compete in any kind of way, I feel like, with North America, but that's no longer the case here at all. You absolutely have to worry about these European teams.
I think ever since Valencia, when I believe it was Team RivaL that found the one victory over Soar Gaming, it gave a lot more hope to the European region in the console world, and just goes to show now in Season 5, at the spring split, what a dominating performance that was. Second place for RivaL in the summer, and starting off strong so far in Week 1.
Again, this is only the first set of our day here. We got a full day of console action that we're going to be able to bring, and I mean console when I say it. It's not just Xbox, but PS4 is going to be happening a little bit later on in the day as well, and we got some North America to look at too. I mean, it's so much that we're going to be able to go through, and I'm glad that we're able to see that whole region expanding. That was just this first set here for the day on the console side, and then we're going to have some more coming in a little bit after.
And there's going to be 3 more sets after that one, so I hope you guys are ready at home.
That's right. Make sure you grab your drinks right now, though. Grab your snacks, whatever it is that you need, that you like to have when you're enjoying some Smite, because we got a lot more coming. It'll be a quick break, and we'll be right back.